Hello, my name is Dr. Brent Anderson, founder of Polestar Pilates. And today in a discussion at Balanced Body headquarters, we were talking about the chair and the Pilates chair and why is the Pilates chair an essential part of the Pilates environment. And as I was thinking about it and we started in this discussion, it became very obvious to me a couple things. Number one, the chair is really one of our first vertical orientation apparati. What I mean by that is the reformer, we often start by laying down. The trapeze table, the same thing, laying down. We can always do some standing work on it, but really the education and introducing that vertical position, especially with vertical load, is the chair and standing single leg press and the lunges. And one of the things that really becomes apparent to me when working on the chair is the ability to slow things down. And that happens because of the spring assistance on the pedal actually makes it possible for us to have a load on the lower extremity as we're sort of teaching things like the bone rhythms, teaching them how to align themselves, and more importantly, that awareness, like they're listening to their body of what's going on inside their hips in a vertical load with gravity. So it's something that I use quite often, even with very acute patients of mine, trying to teach them how to be aware of stepping or going up and down stairs or how to prepare to sit, as well as very elite athletes. And I was thinking of one particular case where I had a professional basketball player. He had had multiple knee surgeries. The last one was very good. And he had just come down to Miami to be a freelance basketball player for Miami Heat, hoping for one more season before he retired. And his biggest complaint was that he had lost his blow. What that means is he was an explosive jumper, and he felt that after the knee surgeries that he did not have that springiness anymore. Well, the interesting thing is that in all of his tests, the muscles and everything tested really strong and well rehabbed. Putting him on the chair and having him going into a standing lunge, I put all the springs on him. Big 6'6", 6'7" basketball player. And as he was working on his lunge, I noticed that there was not a good arthrokinematic or bone rhythm inside of his knee. And so I started working with just teaching him some bone rhythms, and then we gradually reduced the springs, and he started feeling like he had a little more explosiveness and that he was able to do the full lunge up into standing without any assistance. The next day he came back and he was so excited because he said, "You'll never believe it, Brent. I was able to get my elbow all the way in the rim. Like I haven't jumped like that for 4 years." And the point that I want to bring is that a lot of times it's the intricacies and the time we have to really teach movement awareness at that deepest level in the joint. And the chair really provides that for the lower extremity. We can really look at what a vertical load and the shift can influence on that person's participation in their activities. I also like the chair because of its space. And I always tell people, like, number two is if it's not taking up a lot of space like a chair like a trapeze table or a reformer would take up. And yet we can do so many exercises on it. And that takes me back to the history of Joseph Pilates. Joseph's history of the Pilates chair was that it literally was a chair or designed to be a chair inside the living room where you could read a book or you could sit down or you could have a snack. And then when you wanted to exercise, you turned it on its side and it became an exercise equipment that had spring resistance, gravity, all kinds of impact. You could use it with your arms. You could do exercises from the floor, do it laying down on top of the chair, standing on the chair, on the side of the chair. And he created a whole repertoire for those of us who didn't have enough room for a reformer in our house. And this was really the exciting part about our discussion today at Balanced Body, is that you can have a complete Pilates workout by having a chair as a piece of furniture in your house. And I was even at somebody's house recently, and in their bedroom, they had a Pilates chair to the side as their furniture. I hope they use it to exercise. It's a wonderful piece of equipment. It has great application, and we hope that you will use the Pilates chair more frequently.